Decades ago, doctors advised me to slow down, but I'm still driving. I'm 92, and I haven't been sick in 30 years, not even a cold. It's not because I'm fortunate either. Everything altered because of 5 habits. Some of them are so basic that you would assume they are impossible. However, they do. Here are the things I do differently and the reasons you might want to get started right now. I get up every morning and start moving before my feet even touch the ground. It isn't stretching or exercising. I refer to this as a signal to my body, a reminder that we move, breathe, and live in this day and age. Since I was 62, I have been doing this. I had heard from a doctor that the first half hour after waking up is when the body ages the fastest. Your neurological system is still cleaning its eyes of sleep, your joints are stiff, and your blood is heavier. Most individuals, however, rush it. They get out of bed, pick up their phone, and dive right into the day's tension. I do the exact opposite. I start by taking 3 deep breaths while lying on my back. I wiggle my toes, stretch my fingers, and then slowly turn my wrists and ankles. It only takes 90 seconds, yet it sends a message to every muscle, tendon, and joint. Wake up, you're required. This small ritual may seem insignificant, yet it gives my limbs blood flow, my brain oxygen, and my movement awareness. It improves circulation, soothes my nervous system, and lowers the risk of falls. This is supported by research from the National Institute on Aging. Gentle morning mobility exercises have been linked to improved energy, mental clarity, and balance in older persons throughout the day. Do you still think it's too easy? Allow me to describe my morning routine from the past. I used to wake up stiff at 60. Please let me know where you're coming from today before we begin. Please feel free to ask any questions you may have and leave a comment below. Remember to click the subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss any of Senior Health's top health advice. With my brain cloudy and my legs heavy, I would stagger to the restroom. My feet didn't wake up in time, and I even tripped over my slippers once. I realized then, my body would keep pressing snooze if I didn't give it a signal. I don't skip it anymore. I do it before I check the news and before I have my coffee, and my body reminds me if I forget. The stretch isn't what's powerful, it's the routine. Consistency, not intensity, is what rewires the body. According to studies published by the Mayo Clinic, regular morning mobility exercises can lower inflammatory indicators, promote joint health, and even control blood pressure in senior citizens. It isn't hype, it's science. The problem is this: yoga is not necessary. A mat is not necessary. Not even getting out of bed is necessary. Just give your muscles a message and give them 90 seconds. Together, we're still in this. So consider this. How recently have you genuinely wished your body a happy morning? Because aging is a gradual process. It occurs in quiet, early, and forgotten moments like this. And those are the times when you can start over. I drink something that has prevented me from becoming sick for more than 30 years every morning after I move. It's not an addition, it's not a medication. Furthermore, it's not some $50 online powdered superfood. Lemon, turmeric, and a dash of black pepper are added to a warm glass of water. That's all. Don't be fooled by the simplicity, though. This is a powerful habit. Every morning, it's the first thing that gets into my system. And it's how I boost my digestion, reduce inflammation, and strengthen my immune system before breakfast. Let's dissect it. Vitamin C, a strong antioxidant that promotes the development of white blood cells, the first line of defense for the immune system, is abundant in fresh lemon juice. Vitamin C does more than merely keep people healthy, according to Oregon State University's Linus Pauling Institute. It helps reduce its duration, particularly for elderly people. Additionally, it stimulates the liver's bile production, which promotes a healthy digestive system and helps keep toxins from building up. Ever wonder why aging causes a slowdown in digestion? Lemon helps correct low stomach acid, which is often the cause. The most potent anti-inflammatory root found in nature, turmeric, comes next. It contains a substance called curcumin, which has been demonstrated in hundreds of peer-reviewed studies to reduce the body's inflammatory indicators. As we age, these markers increase and can cause joint pain, chronic illnesses, and even cognitive impairment. According to a study in Frontiers in Pharmacology, taking supplements of curcumin helped older persons' immune systems and decreased oxidative stress. Here's the trick though. There's more to black pepper than just taste. The activator, is it? It has a substance called piperine that can boost absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. Turmeric seldom makes it into the bloodstream without it. These three components come together to create what I refer to as my golden glass, making it takes less than 5 minutes. Just bring a cup of water to a comfortable temperature, not boiling. Add half a lemon, a dash of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Stir, take a sip, and let it work. For 30 years, I've had this beverage almost every morning, not because I read about it online, but because I sensed the difference. I had achy joints every winter, sinus infections twice a year, and a constant feeling of being lethargic after breakfast when I first started. I noticed an improvement in my digestion 2 weeks after I started this habit. I didn't feel bloated, my joints were more relaxed. Nothing else had changed on my end. I became aware that I hadn't been ill for about a year, a few months later. I have been true to it for the past 30 years. Do viruses still come into contact with me? Yes, but my body no longer gives them the red carpet treatment. It is awake, vigilant, and ready. This golden glass represents a signal, not just a beverage. It signals to my body that we are on offensive today, much like the movement routine does. Expensive supplements and intricate procedures are not necessary. Little regular routines that imply, I care about you, are what you need. So, pour yourself something golden tomorrow before the eggs break or the toast explodes. As you take a sip, keep in mind that you are making a statement rather than merely consuming a beverage. I make the decision to be healthy, not by accident. I walk for healing, not for exercise. I take a 15-minute anti-inflammatory stroll outside every day, rain or shine. Just breathing and movement, no phones or headphones. Walking is often underestimated. They view it as a fallback option for when you are unable to run. I can tell you, though, that it's the foundation at 92. I used to jog in my 60s because I believed that perspiration was necessary to stay young. After that, I came upon a study that transformed my life. It claimed that just walking can improve memory, control blood sugar, lower systemic inflammation, and even lower your risk of dying by 39%. At that point, I embraced rhythm instead of pursuing sweat. You see, walking is about putting everything back in its proper place, not just about moving your body ahead. Your nervous system, lymphatic system, joints, and even your mind. The secret is that I walk a short distance every day no matter what. I never miss it, even if it's just around the corner. I've seen what occurs when I'm not disciplined, not because I am. My joints hurt, I get stiff, my mind becomes foggy, and my digestion slows down. However, I feel like a machine when I walk. My knees remain loose, my shoulders roll back, and my attitude improves. And I feel like I've been reset by the time I go back. This is supported by science. According to a study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, older persons who walked for just 20 minutes had lower levels of C-reactive protein, an indicator of inflammation. Walking improves creativity and mental clarity more than any sedentary activity, according to another Stanford study. You want to know what made me buy it, though? About 25 years ago, I was too busy to go for a morning walk. I promised myself that I would do it later, but the day slipped my mind, and I felt elderly for the first time in years. Not worn out or sore, but old, as if my lungs had lost their ability to stretch, and the joints weren't mine. I realized then that walking was medication, and not a choice. I now take my daily stroll as if it were a medication. I slipped on supportive sneakers. I start out slowly. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. I concentrate on my breathing. I maintain an open stance by gently swinging my arms. And here's something that may surprise you. Walking makes me grin, not because I'm pleased, but because it brings me joy. Your vagus nerve, a potent component of the neurological system that controls inflammation, heart rate, and even digestion, is activated by the simple act of smiling. According to a psychosomatic medicine study, smiling enhances the stress-relieving benefits of exercise, particularly when moving. I walk for 15 minutes a day, breathe and smile, and that has given me strength for decades. Walking provides you with energy. You don't need expensive equipment, ideal weather, or even a lot of it. Your body was designed to move, and each stride confirms that you can still do it. Therefore, don't wait for inspiration if you've been feeling exhausted, disoriented, or trapped, since movement is essential to life. Put on your shoes, open the door, and urge your body to start over. I haven't missed a single vitamin in over 30 years. It isn't a vitamin. This mineral isn't magical. Protein is something far more fundamental. You see, I believed I was eating healthily when I reached my 60th birthday. I continued to lose strength despite eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and even the occasional multivitamin. By mid-morning, I was feeling less energetic. I began to lose stuff, names, my keys, and even if I had eaten lunch. I assumed it was aging, but my doctor told me it was simply a lack of protein. It turns out that your body's ability to absorb and use protein decreases after the age of 60. That's why I entirely alter my breakfast. You need more, not less, to sustain immunity, muscle, memory, and healing. I started eating what I refer to as the brain and body breakfast in place of toast or cereal. It's easy: a cup of Greek yogurt, a handful of walnuts, a few blueberries, and one boiled egg. That adds up to more than 25 grams of high-quality protein, along with antioxidants that support the brain, healthy fats, and anti-inflammatory properties. Here's why it matters so much. It fuels me, not just fills me. It's not just bodybuilders who need protein. Since immune cells are literally formed of amino acids, this is for them. It is for tissue-repairing enzymes. It is for the neurotransmitters that maintain mental acuity. According to an American Journal of Clinical Nutrition study, older persons who eat 25 to 30 grams of protein every meal have even longer lifespans, considerably better muscle strength, and fewer hospitalizations. Seniors who ate more protein had better immunological responses to disease and vaccinations, according to another Tufts University study. Resilience is equally as important as strength. However, proteins are not all made equal. I concentrate on proteins that are complete, meaning they include all 9 essential amino acids: eggs, flawless, Greek yogurt, probiotics, calcium, and full protein. Although incomplete, walnuts are a great source of omega-3 fatty acids and anti-inflammatory compounds. The antioxidant glue that holds everything together is blueberries. Not only does this breakfast keep me fed, but it also keeps me unwavering. And this is something that surprised me. My blood sugar leveled off. I used to crash at 11 in the morning, but now I go through the morning as if I were 40 again. It makes no difference if I have appointments, lengthy journeys, or meetings. I started with what really important, therefore, I'm steady and keen. Furthermore, it doesn't need to be difficult. On some days, I'll change things up. Toast with sprouts, cottage cheese, and a tiny bit of grilled chicken with flax seeds. If I'm feeling fancy, I'll even make a lentil scramble. However, the advice remains unchanged. Always eat protein, especially at breakfast. Your body makes its decision about how to function for the remainder of the day at that point. You wouldn't use fumes to fuel an automobile, would you? Why, therefore, do we harm ourselves? A breakfast high in protein is essential, not a luxury. No matter your age or background, you may begin it tomorrow. Because how you feed your body today matters more to it than how old you are. Your mind becomes ill before your body does. This is something that no doctor ever told me, and you have to start there. If you want to stay youthful, really young, I conduct something I call mental tuning every morning before I talk to anyone or even look at the weather. It's only this. It's neither therapy nor meditation. For 3 minutes, I remain motionless and visualize the type of day I hope to have. I can't even imagine the bills, the errands, or the traffic. I picture how I want to feel: composed, powerful, stable, and helpful. I then visualize myself going about my day in that mood, calm in conversation, secure behind the wheel, and content with whatever comes up. This might not seem like much, but it's the most effective thing I do. You see, your brain is unable to distinguish between a strongly imagined event and a real occurrence. That quote is about neurobiology, not motivation. Using fMRI scans, Dr. Joe Dispenza and Harvard researchers have demonstrated that when people vividly visualize performing an activity, the same parts of their brains fire as if they were actually performing it. This rewires your neural system over time. Stated differently, you may teach your body to be composed, alert, and focused before you ever leave the house. Why is this important? Because stress, not bacteria or heredity, is the leading cause of immunological death. It increases cortisol, which decreases immunity, destroys brain cells, and even tears muscle. Seniors, we also handle stress in different ways. It manifests as sudden, unexpected illness, exhaustion, and bewilderment. However, everything changes when you set aside 3 minutes every morning to focus. Let me share a story with you. I had a friend years ago who was the same age as me and had a similar medical history. However, he was constantly anxious about money, politics, and news. He was always in a fight or flight mode. Then, without notice, he passed out one day due to a cardiac condition. Things were never the same when he recovered. "Why don't you get rattled?" he inquired. "Are you never concerned?" "Worry is a thief," I warned him. Additionally, I lock the door each morning. Intention is the first step, and resilience is the last. The finest part comes next. Your body will follow your mind's instructions to remain still. Your immune system becomes more active. Your blood pressure decreases, your memory improves, and even your digestion improves. According to a 2016 University of Wisconsin-Madison study, persons over 65 who practiced mentally for just 5 minutes a day saw significant improvements in their immunological response, attention, and anxiety levels. The outcomes persisted for weeks. So yes, I drink my turmeric tonic, eat protein, and go for walks. However, without this, none of it would matter because your hormones influence your health and your thoughts influence your hormones. Being a guru or a monk is not necessary. Candles and mantras are not necessary. Simply sit, visualize joy and strength. Imagine yourself behind the wheel, laughing at the traffic, driving at 92, and never getting sick. You'll notice something odd eventually, and it will become real. You see, it wasn't a secret I kept for decades. It wasn't genetics, and it wasn't luck. It consisted of 5 easy decisions that were made consistently every day. My body was rewired by 5 small habits, and might have perhaps prevented my death. In actuality, you don't need to be 92 to begin. All you need to do is begin. The golden glass, the healing walk, the building breakfast, the morning movement, and the thought that guides the body. Despite their diminutive appearance, they are powerful because health doesn't disappear overnight. It disappears in the things we overlook and reappears in the same manner. In silent decisions that restore strength, bit by little, step by step, and thought after thought. Let me remind you, if you're still unsure if it's too late, you can still do it. You're already on your way, and you're still here. Here's something I haven't yet told you though. I kept one more secret from you. It is what I do each and every evening, something that fixes my body while I sleep, after the routines, after the food, after the walking, after the pondering. Furthermore, according to scientists, it may hold the secret to reversing the effects of aging. Next time, we'll discuss that.